All right, today what we're going to do is we're going to look at slope and how it will help us to find a missing coordinate in a point. So we're starting off here with x and 4 as our first coordinate, and we don't know the x value. And the second coordinate is 6 and -1, and our slope is 5/6. So as we recall, our slope is the change in y over the change in x, which means we're going to subtract the y's from each point, and we're going to over the subtraction of the x's from each point. In the order that we chose the y, we will choose the x. And so let's go right to it and see how this works out. So my slope is equal to, I'm going to start with 4 from the first coordinate for the y, and I'm going to subtract the y from the second coordinate, and that's a -1. Remember, the subtraction sign has nothing to do with the negative sign on the number. All right? And then I'm going to go back and get the x from the first coordinate, just like I got the y from. Okay? And I'm going to subtract the 6, which is the x coordinate, from the second point. And that's my slope. The thing is, we have an x in here. But we also have something very important, and that is that we know what the slope value is. So we're going to take that and we're going to substitute it in for m and say, well, if my slope is really 5/6, and the way I calculate my slope is 4 minus the -1 all over x minus 6, that will help me find my x. So we're going to do a little cleanup here. We're going to keep our equation intact. Okay, so it's 5/6 equals 4 minus -1 is 4 plus 1, which is 5. And x minus 6 stays the same. Now what you can see is you have a fraction equals a fraction, so this is a proportion. And if you recall from solving proportions, the way we do that is we cross multiply. All right, so let's write a little note here. We cross multiply because this is a proportion. Two fractions equal each other. So the 5 will cross and multiply with the x minus 6, and we keep the x minus 6 as a quantity, equals, and our 6 from the denominator crosses up to our numerator, and we get 6 times 5. All right, so now I'm going to take this on the next page, and we'll continue. And we're going to calculate by distributing. So all these things that we've learned, we're going to be using now. So 5 times the x minus 6. I'll rewrite here so we can see it better. And it equals 6 times 5. So distributing, we're going to get 5 times x, so 5x. We're going to get 5 times the minus 6, so a minus 30. And it equals, and a 6 times 5 is 30. Now don't go too fast, because a lot of us will do that and not actually pay attention to the operations going on here. Take this time and add that 30 to each side to start solving for x. 5x stays. -30 plus 30 wipes out to a 0. And on this side we have 30 plus 30, so it's 60. And so now we're in a position to solve for x by one step, and we divide by 5 on each side. That leaves us 1, and this equals to 60 divided by 5 is 12. So our missing x coordinate that goes with our 4 in this point is 12. Now how do you check yourself? Okay, you really should check to see, if you got it right. Remember, our original slope was 5/6. And we got that by taking the difference of our y's over the difference of our x's, our change in y over change in x. So it was 4 minus -1. And our new x now is 12, going back to the same point we got the y from, the 4. So 12 minus 6. And this becomes 4 plus 1 over 12 minus 6. 4 plus 1 is 5. 12 minus 6 is 6, and that does equal our original slope of 5/6 that was provided in the problem, so it checks. So therefore, this is your answer for the x coordinate, and you know it very well because you've checked it and it works. All right, let's try another problem. Okay. Where we're missing a y coordinate. All right, in this case, we have 5 and 4 is our first point, and we have negative 5y, and we don't know what the y is. But again, our slope is equal to our change in y over our change in x. We subtract the y, subtracting the x's. All right, so remember this is x, that's y. This is x, obviously that's y. So let's do, our slope is 3/5, so we're going to put that in for m. But the way we would calculate our slope from the points would be taking our first y, 4, and subtracting our other y, which happens to just be y because we don't know the value. But we're going to find out. And it's divided by the change in x's, so subtracting the x's. But we have to get the x from the first point that we took the y from. So we take 5 minus, and then we're subtracting a negative 5. Again, remember that this negative sign has nothing to do with the minus sign. So we bring this down as we do all equations and work downward. 4 minus y stays. 5 minus a negative 5 is 5 plus 5. So that's 10. All right, now we see that we have a fraction equals a fraction. That's a proportion. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cross multiply. So 5 gets multiplied by the 4 minus y, in parentheses, of course, equals, and the 3 gets multiplied by the 10. Now it doesn't matter. Some of you might have done this. You might have done the 3 times 10 first. And that would equal to the 5 times the 4 minus y next. Just always put your monomial of 5 in front of your binomial quantity of 4 minus y. So either one of these is fine. It depends on how you're seeing it at that moment. Distributing, we're going to get 5 times 4 is 20. Distributing, we're going to get minus 5y. And multiplying, we're going to get 30. Okay, now remember, this is a positive 20 when you don't see a sign in front of it, so we're going to subtract 20 on each side to bring it over to be with the 30. That'll go to 0. Don't forget your sign in front of 5y. It's negative, so negative 5y equals 30 minus 20 is 10. Divide by negative 5 on each side, and y equals negative 2. Okay? And that is our value for the y coordinate that we were missing in the second point. Now let's check this. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite this information for you. Our point was 5, 4, and it was negative 5, and we found the value for y to be negative 2. So that's our y value that we found. And our slope that was given was 3/5. So let's check. Okay, remember our slope of 3/5 has to equal to our change in y over change in x. So 4 minus my negative 2 over 5 minus my negative 5. Bring it down, 3/5 equals, and let's see if this works out to be 3/5 on the right side. 4 minus negative 2 is 4 plus 2. 5 minus negative 5 is 5 plus 5. Bring it down, 3/5 equals 4 plus 2 is 6. 5 plus 5 is 10. That doesn't look like they equal. But remember, this has to be reduced. It is a fraction. All right? And when you reduce 6 over 10, it is 3/5. So it checks. Another way you could do it for the check, if you got confused or you're not comfortable with reducing, just cross multiply again. All right? 3 times 10 equals 5 times 6. 30 equals 30. So therefore, the value that we found for y of negative 2 is correct. And that is how you find a missing coordinate using the slope.